Welcome to the Lawns and Life podcast, where DIYers go to get the tips and advice they need to have a great looking lawn. Well, hey there, lawn lovers. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Lawns and Life podcast, where we dive deep into the world of DIY lawn care. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned veteran looking to polish your skills, we have got something for everyone. In each episode, I break down simple, easy to understand topics that will empower you to achieve your dream lawn. My name is Devin. I'm the DIY lawn coach, and thank you so much for coming back for another week. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had another fantastic week. If you haven't, that's okay. As far as I'm concerned, today is the best day of the week. It's the day that the podcast releases. So sit back, relax. I've got a really good podcast episode planned for us. I'm going to share with you the single most bestest piece of advice that I could give you. And it will completely change the way you approach lawn care, the way you think about it. So I'm happy to share that with you. This was something that I learned several years ago. It's a mind shift, and I promise if you implement this, it's a game changer. And this is not clickbait. This is some good stuff here. So we'll get into that. But as we always do, we have to do this week's mindful moment.
It can be hard to slow down and notice things in a busy world. Mindful moments is where we pause for a moment to reflect on the here and now. After all, life is happening now. We simply need to take time to notice. These small yet profound experiences remind us that life is not about the destination, but the journey we take to get there.
All right, guys. So this week's mindful moment is it's going to be kind of a controversial one, if you will. So I'm happy to talk about it. I don't mind going there. So we are now in the month of June, and June is a fantastic month. It's actually my birthday month. I will be turning 41 years of age this month. So yeah, that's crazy. But also, June brings on Pride Month. And you can't turn on the TV, you can't go anywhere without seeing social media talking about pride. And while I'm not talking about that kind of pride, I'm talking about just being proud. All right. And so there's a whole month devoted to pride. And the Bible, as far as I'm concerned, says that pride is a sin. All right. But I'm not talking about that kind of pride. I'm talking about being proud and having perspective and being humble in the way that you're proud. All right. And so what do I mean by that? Okay. I am a proud person. I am not boastful. I am not someone who wants to be in your face about, the things that I'm prideful about, because I think that's the sinful nature of it. But what I'm talking about is I'm proud to be the man that God made me. I am proud to be the father of my kids. And none of this is saying that I'm perfect. It just means that I'm doing the best I can, and I'm okay with that, and I'm proud of that. I show up when things are hard. I'm proud of my journey. I am not perfect, but I'm willing to admit my mistakes. I'm willing to, share my mistakes. But that's something to be proud of, because again, I'm not perfect. And again, we talked about, the Bible says that being proud or pride is a sin, and that is true. But again, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about being boastful and those sorts of things. What I'm talking about is being prideful in a humble way, saying that it's not just me. I didn't get here on my own. Obviously, God had a huge role in giving me the abilities that I have, the talents that I have, and you have talents and you have abilities that were God-given to you as well. I've gotten a lot of help from people along the way, and I'm humble in that way. And I just want to take a second and just remember that I am proud of who I am, and I am not the man that I used to be. I'm always moving forward. I'm always trying to get better. And I will always forever be a proud man and a changed man. And that's something to be proud of. I'm not, I think about myself as a 20-year-old and how selfish I was. Yeah, I'm not proud of that. And there are parts and aspects of my life that I'm currently not proud of, but I'm proud that I'm on a journey moving towards, the man that I want to be. And so hopefully this month, you take a second and just realize that you have something to be proud about as well. And so I hope you enjoyed that little twist on this week's Mindful Moment. All right, so now let's talk about what is the best piece of advice that I could give you. All right, so if you're a beginner in lawn care, or maybe you've been doing this for a long time, maybe you've already discovered this, or maybe you just haven't given it much thought. But the one single piece of advice that I could give you that will absolutely transform the way you view and approach lawn care has nothing to do with the products, has nothing to do with the quality of your mower or the equipment that you use. Again, I told you in the open, this is a mind shift. This is changing the way you think about lawn care, how you approach it. And so here it is. Here it is in a nutshell. Too many people focus on the calendar when it comes to lawn care and not the weather. Now, there are certain applications that we make that are calendar based, okay? For example, would be your grub control application, right? Or your pre-emergent application, right? Like we're applying those in a certain month of the calendar. But if you stop and think about it, we're actually not applying it based on the calendar. We're basing it on the weather. So for example, your pre-emergent application that you apply in the spring, what do we always say? Temperatures approaching 50, 55 degrees, right? Well, what changes and gets that to 50 or 55 degrees? The weather, the sun, the amount of light that we're getting, right? So your grub control application, we usually say around May 15th, you apply your grub control application. Well, what dictates when those grubs come out of the soil and start eating and feeding on your turf? The weather. So even though we say February, put down your pre-emergent, or we say, May 15th, you got to put down your grub control, or, July, you do this, or August, you do that, or we always seed and aerate in the fall, which is September, October timeframe. But at the end of the day, the weather dictates everything that we do: watering, fertilizing, mowing, different applications as far as products. They all are dependent on the weather. So once you understand that you're not beholden to the calendar, when you say, oh, it's July, I can't feed the lawn in July, or it's June, I can't do this, or it's September, I have to do this. Now, there are some generalized truths to the calendar, but overall, the importance of the weather plays a much bigger role in making that decision as to what you're going to do. Whether, so we're in June right now. I've only made one application of fungicide, one application of a fungicide up until now. Now, there's a reason behind that. Again, I purposefully tried to, extend it out and actually get brown patch, which I was successful in. But the point is that sometimes I start my fungicide application in May, and sometimes I start it later in the year. Watering the lawn. I've only run my irrigation system maybe once or twice this year. In years past, I've probably ran it 10 or 15 times because we've had a very cool, milder spring. And so the weather is dictating what is going on. I don't look at my lawn, or I don't look at a calendar and say, well, it's June, I have to be watering my lawn with my irrigation system. All right. I look at my lawn, I look at the weather, I look at how it's impacting the turf, and that's what shapes what I'm doing. We talked about fungicides. I'm only applying fungicides based on the weather. I wait for the conditions to be right. I don't say, well, it's May, I have to start applying my fungicides. I let the weather dictate that. The same way with mowing, right? Like when it gets hot and humid, the mowing will cut back. I don't say, well, I can't do this or I can't do that. And so once you learn that, for me, that was a game changer. It was probably one of the biggest pieces of advice that I got, because I was always so conditioned to think, well, it's May, I have to do this. It's August, I can only do this, or it's September, I can't do that. So I would challenge you to kind of shift your mind a little bit about how you approach lawn care and look at it from a weather and let the weather dictate. Again, we're in June, and typically in June I start cutting back on the fertilizer. Well, we've had extremely mild temperatures. I'm feeding just like I would if it was April, because the weather, to me, when I see the weather and it's 75 and it's almost 80 degrees and we're getting plenty of rainfall, the weather tells me that it's more like April and not like June. So I'm not worried about applying fertilizer or applying this, because again, the weather tells me what time of the year it is and not just looking at the calendar. And so I would challenge you to kind of have that mind shift a little bit. Again, it's been very cool. So it's just changing the way you think, changing the way you approach lawn care when it comes to weather, and you'll struggle less with your applications, and B, you'll just be more confident because you know you're making the right application because the weather says that it's okay to do that. Now, if on the flip side, let's say it was June and we're already in the mid 90s and sun's blazing, well, then yeah, I'm going to cut back on the fertilizer because the weather is telling me how I need to view lawn care. So hopefully that tip helps you out. And again, just change the way you shift your mind away, the way that you think about lawn care, and focus more on the weather and not the calendar. And when you do that, it will transform the way you view lawn care. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that tip, and leave me a comment down below and let me know, is that something that you're currently doing, or just kind of open your eyes a little bit, and do you see it a little bit differently now than maybe you did before? I'd love to hear from you. And so go down in the comment section, make sure you give the video a like as well. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. So the last thing that I want to leave you with is Father's Day is coming up next Sunday, and a little inside baseball here. I've got a guest that will be joining the podcast next Sunday. I hope you stick around. This one is going to be unlike any that you've ever seen before. I promise. It's going to be a great episode. You're not going to want to miss it. But it's going to be a great Father's Day. But I also want to let you know I have Father's Day merch on my website. So go to thediylawncoach.com. Check out all the dad stuff on there. Maybe get something for yourself. Get it for yourself, and then give it to your kids and say, hey, can you give me this T-shirt for Father's Day? What a great way to do that. There's gift cards available, so you can go buy stuff on there. But go check it out. Get something maybe for your dad. Give yourself a gift, whatever. Go check it out. Have fun with it. And so I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast this week. Again, I know it's kind of a short one, but I really wanted to give you that tip and just focus on the weather, especially as we transition into summer. Go check out my merch for Father's Day. Cannot wait to see you guys next week. My name is Devin. I'm the DIY Lawn Coach. I can't wait to see you in the lawn. Peace.